Mike Rossi, my compadre. What's up, brother?
Not much, my man. How we doing?
Doing well. We're here to talk the main event of WrestleMania, the main event. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship. Well, you're out of 10. Where are you for excitement over this match?
High. I'd say 9. It's tough for
Okay.
me to really get 10. I'm at my 10 is probably on the Usos match. If I was to give a 10, but this is pretty close.
Cool. All right. Well, this is how we got here, buddy. Roman will be the Universal Champion for 944 days on day 2 of WrestleMania 39 and the WWE Championship for pretty much a year. Cody won the 2023 Royal Rumble to earn his main event of WrestleMania. Early baseline stuff with Cody and Heyman doing the framework to highlight the mission statement for Cody has in front of him to win the WWE Championship in honor of his late father, Dusty Rhodes. We finally got the face-to-face promo from Cody and Roman on the March 3rd SmackDown. It felt big and it delivered. Similar to Heyman's earlier promo, Roman would take jabs at Cody through Dusty, trying to get under his skin. He laid the belts down in front of Cody, asking him if he ever won one of those. Has he ever even competed for one? Asking if he is even ready for this massive spot. His dad saw a lot in Roman before anyone else did. Did he even see that in you? You know your dad said about you, right? Absolutely nothing. Killer line, epic line. It was delivered much better than me. It was great. What Dusty didn't teach Cody, Roman will still teach him at WrestleMania. Cody calls him out for sending Heyman and then trying to continually get under his skin through his father, saying the story isn't necessarily about Dusty. This is his desire. This is his story, and having the best man win at WrestleMania. And they shook hands. In between the face-to-faces, Cody would help Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn come together and perhaps insert kinks into the bloodline, which seemed to be turn out to be Cody's mission statement all along. Was they're going to take shots at my family? Well, I'm going to try to break down yours, but knowing that Roman needs his family to be where he's at. On last Monday's Raw, the last face-to-face ended with a frustrated Roman leaving the ring yelling at Solo, the most frustrated we've seen Roman in a while. All this after Roman ripped into Cody's family, his failures in AEWs, and how he'll never make it. Cody would seem to be able to fulfill his plan of cracking the bloodline, and this is his plan for a fair fight at WrestleMania. And this has been his plan all along, and this is how he's going to attack Roman, is by getting into the bloodline. And kind of that's the vibe of it. You're going to come at my family? Well, I'm going to take that game plan, and that's what I'm going to use towards you. So the build's been pretty good. First, before how we jump into that, how do you feel about the way that they inserted Cody with all of the Cody dust on the KO stuff with the bloodline and Sammy and all that interweaving storyline? Do you think that's been a good mix? And do you think it helped Cody at the end of the day?
I think it was a good mix because it really only went down when you think about it for like a week and a half, right? You had the backstage segment where I forget who it was. I think it was Rick Boogs and Elias, and then you could see Cody with KO in the background. They did that on like one Monday, and then like a week later they reunited. So they did it for a little bit in a sensible manner. But what I really like about how they did that is now that they got them together, or that Cody really helped get them together, they've kind of peeled back on that. The Usos versus KO and Sammy have become a separate feud altogether from what they've done this last real week and a half on the build up to Mania. So it's been more Solo supporting Reigns, with the Usos kind of handling their own business, which makes sense because Solo doesn't have his match. He'll obviously be the one definitively in Roman's corner. And I really like how they've, been able to, focus in on Solo as part of this. And then obviously they have the match on Raw. So ultimately they've done a really good job at using Cody to make the entire story kind of fit together, but now kind of interweaving them off into two different stories.
Now, Cody really hampered Solo by saying, you ain't ready. You can't break away. You're not ready for me. You're not ready for this. Now, is that Cody's insecurities talking? Saying because he knows he ain't ready for this? And that's the story long term? Or what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, it also could be playing up on, the lack of confidence that Solo should have. I mean, the way Reigns peeled him back from attacking him on Raw last week was almost like, Reigns agrees that confidence and he's not ready, right? So it just kind of puts that fracture, kind of in the back of everybody's mind. that they've kind of been building up all along. Like Cody said, you're going to turn, Jay's going to turn on you, Jimmy's going to turn on you, Solo's going to turn on you. And the idea, I think, is really that they turn on him before Roman turns on them. So it just kind of puts that mental, emotional fracture into the family, similar to how, Reigns did with him talking about Dusty,
Yeah. So it's at the end of the day, it's Roman's legacy versus Cody's story. So they've done a really detailed baseline job of kind of getting us there, and it's been really good, which is added to it. But overall, does he feel like that WrestleMania main eventer?
He does, and they've done a really good job at building him up to this point. And what I really liked about the Cody KO Sammy stuff is it got the crowd behind Cody to put them together. That's why I really thought that, for however many months the crowd wanted Zayn. But now they were so smart with how they did everything that it became the crowd wanting Zayn and KO back together. So it was almost like Cody was the linchpin to make all of that happen, and it all just made him get more pops. The way he's getting the pop for his entrance theme with the whoa, whatever it is awesome. I mean, that's something that never happened in AEW, right? Never happened on the indies. It just kind of organically happened with the crowd. And this crowd wants him to win this title, right? They're ready for him. The story makes sense, and he's really positioned himself as a main eventer. And they've made all of his matches on TV feel like a big deal along the stretch. And, I really think that he's the guy to get this done right now.
All right. Does 946 matter to you, or that's just 66 away or 64 away from 1,000? It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't. I mean, to me, if you're going to get to 1,000 and you're going to kind of not tell a fantastic story to get there, it kind of feels like a waste of time. I mean, maybe they do have a story, which I'm sure we'll get into here in a bit, to kind of get to that point, but don't force the title change just so you can get to a round number, in my opinion.
Okay. Got you. All right, let's play a quick game. You know me. Put your GM hat on, and you are the GM of the All Elite Wrestling Company. I'm going to offer you trades for Cody Rhodes as we stand pat, and let me know if you say yay or nay. Obviously for this spot or for future roles, whatever.
Sure.
All right. My first volley is Adam Cole.
No.
John Moxley.
Intriguing, but no.
Bryan Danielson.
No. Been there, done that.
CM Punk. I have him under contract still.
I'm going to say no, because I think that his corporate structure that WWE would need him to be just wouldn't be there.
MJF.
That's the one that I would say yes. I think that Cody's got a big time main event run in him. But I mean, it might be 5 years or so. MJF might be 15. So I think MJF has the mic skills that's 100% ready, and his in-ring is on par with Cody at this point too. So maybe not in putting I'm not even going to say that because the Danielson match was so good. I would take MJF over Cody today.
Kenny Omega.
No.
Okay. Those are my offers, and it looks like we've agreed on the deal in principles. Now, do you think Cody staying in AEW a year ago or so, he reached the peak he's at now?
Yeah, I think that it's weird because I almost feel like he needed that. He definitely needed that run, but he left AEW super cold and came with WWE immediately super hot. It just kind of shows the difference in the fan base, right? Yeah. He felt bigger than life when he came back with the Heroes entrance. And in AEW, he was just a guy that they were sick of looking at, which was strange because there are kind of parallels with the audience, but it does kind of show how different the WWE audience is than the AEW crowd is.
No, it's just interesting to kind of, if you take your shoes off and take a look at that, but that's for another day. All right, here's the 3 questions I ask everybody. Well, the first one's easy. What night and where on the card?
Oh yeah, it's gonna open. It's gonna be on the pre-show on Sunday.
All right. Well, at least it's still on day 2. So night 2 of WrestleMania main event, 100%. No ifs, ands, or buts. That one's easy. The hype is high. You said you're at about a 9 of anticipation. I believe on our last clotheslines and headlines, we put this in the all-time tier of we expect it to be awesome, 4.5 or around there. Do you think it actually lives up to it?
It should. There's ways that they could do this that become wonky. I think we talked about that on clotheslines as well. The thing that is kind of in my back pocket that I'm preparing myself for is the similar Dusty finish that Dusty had at MSG. Because I feel like that's an eye that Cody's going to want to dot at some point, and there's no.
Feels like a raw. That feels like a raw finish, not a
Yeah,
WrestleMania one.
it
Though.
just seems like it's something that he's going to want to do, and if you're gonna do that later, it's not going to be as important as it is now. And to your 1,000 point, that's a way if they do want to get him to 1,000 and prolong the Cody actually winning it, maybe at a SummerSlam or something. That might be the path to go. But I do think that could sap the match a little bit, because obviously if there's another match down the road, you're not going to give them all of it now. Mm-hmm. So that's the only place that I'm kind of skeptical that this gets to like that all-time level, where I think if they do the one match and know that it's going to be their one match, that it could.
Yeah, it's just pretty risky for being the main event of WrestleMania, wicked anticipation and all that jazz to kind of pull that. It'd have to be ballsy. It'd have to be executed perfectly to happen. Fuck, who's winning?
I think Cody's going to win. I can't see them really doing that, especially after how they had the lame duck finish the Mania last year, which was no fault of their own. Obviously, injuries happen. But I feel like if you do a lame duck finish, it'll be cool to watch like a Dusty finish unfold. But, I mean, you're going to leave with a sour taste in your mouth. And I think this Mania of all Manias, there's going to be so many good matches. There's going to be a very high work rate. And like we were saying on clotheslines, it's a home show. They aren't bringing in as many outsiders as they have in the past. Cena doesn't really count to that, in my opinion. And especially where they're having him open the show on Saturday, it's not going to overwhelm everything, right? So I think that you kind of are starting a new era here. The Triple H era really started last July, but he wasn't really able to sink his teeth into the stories, I think, until around Survivor Series. And, the way the bloodline shot off, Cody winning this on the same weekend that the Usos lose their titles just seems like the shoe fits too tight for that to not be the option they go with.
Now, you say home team kind of guys. Are we sure that in their eyes, the book Triple H, Nick Khan, Vince, whoever, are we sure that Cody is their home guy yet? Or does he just need to he needs to get a little home dirt on him before he's actually one of us type of thing?
I think he became the home guy when he worked with the torn pec last year. Okay. I think if and it kind of worked to their benefit, right? Mm-hmm. If Cody was just being groomed to, have a run last year, think of that Rollins feud. Say he doesn't get hurt, he wins that third match. Then you've got 6-7 months to continue to keep him hot, where him going away almost was a blessing in disguise, right? Because then when he came back, you can bash the way they did it in the Rumble with him being 30 and not really having the challenge. But that's respect for a guy like Gunther that is going to be a challenge for him down the road too. So the crowd reacted to him then. And kind of like when Becky Lynch went away last year, she came back to a bigger pop. Sometimes the absence makes the heart grow fonder. And I think it all worked out because of that gap of time he had away with the packages and whatnot. And overall, that's what puts Cody in I think this like upper tier now.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. I'll just go like as a fandom, just keep giving me Roman, stick him down my throat. I'm good with it. I don't necessarily dislike Cody. I think he's grown on me. I think he's very worthy of beating Roman. I just don't personally know if I'm ready, but it ain't about me. And I feel that Triple H trusts his gut enough to go with his gut, and whatever his gut says, I think is probably going to be the right move in the long term. And if Cody does lose, I don't think his journey's done. I think he will be either both Universal and WWE or the WWE champion by the end of the year, say SummerSlam or whatever. So, yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think Cody will win money-wise, but I think I rather prefer Roman still.
Yeah, and I do trust that whichever path they go, even if it pisses off some people on that night that wanted Cody to win, there's a story that'll make it all make sense in the next couple months.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, what's going to grow? A legacy, or is the story going to continue? So that's a cool crux of how we got there and what they got done. A really good job of kind of hammering home. And I'm really looking forward to it, Mike. Thanks as always, buddy. What are you going to plug before we get out of here?
Not much, man. Just, a lot of good content on here. I love this build that you've done on all of these matches. Nice consumption, and we don't have to sit down and listen to one long podcast. So thank you for doing this. I think it's awesome for our viewers, and looking forward to Mania as always.
Well, we'll catch you on the next one, buddy. Thanks, Mike.